Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Asif Ali Sayed from the Department of Business Administration, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Today, we shall be discussing about the module Attracting Social Entrepreneurs of the paper Skill Development and Social Entrepreneurship. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the concept and relevance of social entrepreneurship and get familiar with attracting social entrepreneurs and social activism ecosystem. Introduction to social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship at its essence is a process by which individuals build or transform institutions to advance solutions to social problems. Social entrepreneurship signals the imperatives to drive social change, and it is that potential payoff with its lasting transformational benefit to the society that sets the field and its practitioners apart. Social entrepreneurs are either non-profits or blend for-profit goals with generating a positive return to society. Social entrepreneurship typically attempts to further broad social, cultural, and environmental goals often associated with the voluntary sector in areas such as poverty alleviation, healthcare, and community development. Three broad components defining social entrepreneurship are identifying a stable and inherent unjust equilibrium that causes the exclusion, marginalization, or suffering of a segment of humanity which lacks the financial means or political clout to achieve any transformative benefit on its own. Second, identifying an opportunity in this unjust equilibrium, developing a social value proposition and bringing to bear inspiration, creativity, direct action, courage and fortitude, thereby challenging the stable state's hegemony, and third, forging a new state equilibrium that releases trapped potential or alleviates the sufferings of the targeted group, and through mitigation, imitation and creation of a stable ecosystem around the new equilibrium ensures a better future for the targeted group and even society at large. Development of social entrepreneurship. The terms social entrepreneur and social entrepreneurship were used first in the literature in 1953 by H. Brown on his book Social Responsibilities of the Businessman, and came into widespread use in the 1980s and 90s. Michael Young, a leading promoter of social entrepreneurship, and was described at Harvard University as the world's most successful entrepreneur of social enterprises. In 1980s, he created more than 60 new organizations worldwide, including the School for Social Entrepreneurs SSE in UK, Australia and Canada, to establish, scale and sustain social enterprises and businesses. A list of a few noteworthy people whose work exemplifies the modern definition of social entrepreneurship includes Florence Nightingale, founder of the first nursing school and developer of the modern nursing practice; Robert Owen, founder of the cooperative movement; and Vinoba Bhave, founder of India's land gift movement. Classification of social entrepreneurship business model. In The Power of Unreasonable People by John Elkington and Pamela Hartigan, they describe social entrepreneurs' business structure as falling under three different models applicable in three different situations and economic climates. First is leveraged non-profit. This business model leverages financial and other resources in an innovative way to respond to social needs. Second is hybrid non-profit. This organizational structure can take a variety of forms but is distinctive because the hybrid non-profit is willing to use profit from some activities to sustain its operations which have a societal, social or community purpose. Hybrid non-profits are often created to deal with government failures or market failures as they generate revenue to sustain the operation without requiring loans, grants and other forms of traditional funding. The third is social business ventures. These models are set up as businesses that are designed to create changes through social means. Social entrepreneurs is thus situations where forced to become for-profit ventures because loans and equity financing are hard to get for social businesses. There are other broad range of hybrid profit business models where a conventional business invests some portion of its profits on socially, culturally or environmentally beneficial activities. The term philanthropreneurship has been applied to this type of activity. Corporate employees engaged in social entrepreneurship has been described as corporate social entrepreneurship. Commercial philanthropy is coined as per Newman's own model, where commercial businesses are held and operated with all net proceeds going to serve social service needs. Social activism and social entrepreneurship. Activism is similar to but can be understood as a subset of social entrepreneurship, a tool that many social entrepreneurs use to further their cause. Activism typically works from the outside, attempting to influence the decision makers in government or large institutions. Social entrepreneurship utilizes outside and inside directed tactics, often working directly with institutions to enact change. Social entrepreneurs also often seek to create new institutions rather than change old ones. Activism is important because it helps elicit empathy by making injustice and suffering palpable. Social entrepreneurs can further their cause by utilizing techniques of activism for this purpose. Several aspects of the actor's characteristics are the same: inspiration, creativity, courage and fortitude. What is different is the nature of the actor's action orientation. Instead of taking direct action as a social entrepreneur would, the social activist attempts to create change through indirect actions by influencing governments, NGOs, consumers, workers, etc. to take action. Successful activism can yield substantial improvements to existing systems and even results in a new equilibrium. But the strategic nature of the action is distinct in its emphasis on influence rather than on direct action. Kailash Satyarthi's Rug Mark campaign provides a particularly striking example of a hybrid model of social activism and social entrepreneurship. Recognizing the inherent limitation of his work to rescue children enslaved in India's rug weaving trade, Satyarthi set to sight on carpet weaving industry. By creating the Rug Mark certification program and a public relations campaign designed to educate consumers who unwittingly perpetuate an unjust equilibrium, Satyarthi leveraged his effectiveness as a service provider by embracing the indirect strategy of activist. Social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs are the idea champions, people who advance change working within, between and beyond established organizations. The social entrepreneur or social innovator also helps others discover their own power to change by helping them envision a new possibility and recognize how it can be broken down into doable steps that build momentum for change. Social entrepreneurship is a process involving a long-term commitment and continual setbacks. For this reason, social entrepreneurs share certain qualities, including the ability to overcome apathy, habit, incomprehension and disbelief while facing heated resistances, the ability to shift to behavior, mobilize political will and continually improving their ideas, the ability to listen, recruit and persuade. Among those they work with, they encourage a sense of accountability and a sense of ownership for the change. A social entrepreneur is a leader or pragmatic visionary who achieves large-scale systemic and sustainable social change through a new innovation, a different approach, a more rigorous application of no technologies or strategies, or a combination of these. Focuses first and foremost on the social and or ecological value creation and tries to optimize the financial value creation. A social entrepreneur also innovates by finding a new product, a new service, or a new approach to a social problem. And finally, he or she continuously refines and adapts approaches in response to a feedback. Muhammad Yunus, the founder of Grameen Bank and the father of microcredit, provides a classical example of a social entrepreneurship. The stable but unfortunate equilibrium he identified consisted of poor Bangladeshis, limited options for securing even the tiniest amounts of credit. Unable to qualify for loans through the formal banking system, they could borrow only by accepting exorbitant interest rates from the local money lenders. Most commonly, they simply succumbed to begging on the streets. Here was a stable equilibrium of the most unfortunate sort, one that perpetuated and even exacerbated Bangladesh's endemic poverty and the misery arising from it. Yunus confronted the system, proving that poor were extremely good credit risks by lending the now famous sum of $27 from his own pocket to 42 women from the village of Jobra. The women repaid the entire loan. Yunus found that even with small and tiny amounts of capital, women invested in their own capacity for generating income. With a sewing machine, for example, women could tailor garments, earning enough to pay back the loan, buy food, educate their children, and lift themselves up from poverty. Grameen Bank sustained itself by charging interest on its loan and then recycling the capital to help other women. Yunus brought inspiration, creativity, direct action, courage, and fortitude to his venture, proved its viability, and over 2 decades spawned a global network of other organizations that replicated or adapted his model to other countries and cultures, firmly establishing microcredit as a worldwide industry. Some of India's famous and inspiring social entrepreneurs are Bindeshwar Pathak. Caste stratification is a social evil prevalent in our society in its most vicious form. However, a Brahmin boy decided to lead a movement known as Sulabh and brought a revolution in toilets and a rightful place in society for those who once cleaned them. His movement aims at restoring the human rights and dignity of untouchables, and to achieve that he has already done commendable work. Saloni Malhotra. Saloni Malhotra, a young engineering graduate from IIT Madras, formed India's first rural BPO in the name of Desi Crew. She countered the challenge of setting up a business with a social objective with flying colors. Little had she imagined that her dream would take her from Delhi to the dusty roads of Tamil Nadu. Desi Crew has brought income, empowerment, and exposure to young people staying in towns and villages. Dhruv Lakra. Dhruv Lakra is the owner of Miracle Couriers, a robust business competing with the best. Miracle is a company which inclusively employs the deaf. The light in the eyes of the employees and the unparalleled growth of the company in a short span of years says it all. Attracting social entrepreneurs. Exploring easy ways of financing. For financing large scale change, many social entrepreneurs are exploring earned revenues through social enterprises, starting with family, friends, classmates, and professional contacts. Social entrepreneurs also turn to corporations, public foundations, social venture competitions, impact investors, and web-based intermediaries. Web-based intermediaries have made it possible for social entrepreneurs to receive small donations from many individuals, that is, micro contributions, Fellowships and prize programs directed specifically at social entrepreneurs are another source of funding. The second source of attracting social entrepreneurs is balancing social and financial objectives. Social entrepreneurs are increasingly seeing strong results through complementary non-profit business and hybrid enterprises. The term blended value refers to the commingling of social and financial objectives using a combination of business methods and philanthropy, a promising strategy because it allows a social organization to benefit from the strategies of traditional business entrepreneurs. Blended value or impact investors who cross the lines between philanthropy, business and public sector will be increasingly important contributors. Cultivating talent. Social organizations rely on attracting people by promising meaningful work. The social sector also lacks a structured system to nurture talent. When combined with financial inhibitors, this makes retaining the talent difficult. More people have chosen social organizations over other opportunities following the economic downturn, probably because comparable salaries in the private sectors have dropped. Nurturing innovation in education. Fostering innovation will also require changes in education. The idea that everyone can be a change maker should be integrated starting in grade school so that children can become comfortable with the idea and skills necessary to effect change early on. When children are encouraged to test out their own ideas in a safe and non-judgmental environment, they learn to value their own ideas, which is crucial for social entrepreneurs. Schools should also encourage students to ask questions and take initiative. This is important because social entrepreneurs are action researchers learning through experimentation. Additionally, schools could create programs that help children develop empathy along with cognitive learning. Developing empathy will help children understand how they fit into larger world, helping them to understand others better and build teams. Collaborating with governments to serve the social sector. The relationship between governments and social entrepreneurs can and should be changed in order to maximize efficiency and social impact. Governments should shift from the model of running programs and providing after the fact payments for services to a model of investing and overseeing long-term investments in social entrepreneurial organizations. Government should shift towards harnessing the power of social entrepreneurs to achieve policy goals by creating cross-sector fellowships to bring social entrepreneurs into government and place policy staffers in social organizations, by introducing innovation funds within all government agencies to encourage the development of a social capital market. Relationships with private sector. With regard to business, a great deal of innovation in the coming years will result from the intersection of the social and business sectors. Businesses are realizing they can benefit by working from and learning from the social entrepreneurs for a variety of reasons. Like, businesses realize that social organizations know how to operate in the underdeveloped markets. Businesses are under increasing pressure by customers, employees, investors to be socially conscious. Familiarity with the social entrepreneurship landscape will give an edge over competitors unaware of social changes. Business partnering with social entrepreneurs can target the bottom of the pyramid and 4 billion people living on less than $2 per day without having to establish new channels of business from scratch. Social entrepreneurs are shaping the nature of corporate social responsibility, a core management function, and social entrepreneurs are influencing the regulatory and investment environments, holding businesses more accountable to their social and environmental performance. Philanthropists fostering social entrepreneurship. Philanthropists assume great risk and support less popular ideas than businesses or government. In the past, philanthropic investments were treated as charity, providing a modest one-year grants restricted to specific use. But of late, an increased involvement by the donor is an important shift. Also, the method of financing is now similar to that of venture capital market. Philanthropy shifts from palliative to curative. This shift has involved searching for innovative ideas, targeting high-performance social entrepreneurs, providing long-term capital along with managerial assistance, and rigorously tracking results. Also, many donors have adopted a venture capital approach, providing multi-year grants that are combined with direct engagements on the part of the donor. There are 4 proposed ways by which philanthropy could redeploy resources to harness social entrepreneurs more effectively. 1. Helping social entrepreneurs engage more successfully with businesses and governments. 2. Philanthropic foundations supporting creation of new media platforms to encourage the sharing and exchange of knowledge towards making well-informed investment decisions. 3. Opening more organizations but closing few, implying that funding is continually spread thinner and thinner, thereby ensuring failure of mediocrity leading to reductions or withdrawal of funding. 4th, philanthropy encouraging social entrepreneurs join together in firms for sharing expertise, testing ideas, launching ventures, and providing consulting advice to large clients. This lowers risk and creates more effective and supportive environments. The role of media. Journalism will play a key role in helping society become more innovative. The media has a vital role in making the work of social entrepreneurs visible, illustrating what the leaders in the industry are doing. News media drastically underreport stories of social innovations which social entrepreneurs can help change by legitimizing a category of news focused on solutions and foster greater public accountability. Role of technology. The internet, social networking websites, and social media have been pivotal resources for the success and collaboration of many social entrepreneurs. Using wiki models or crowdsourcing approaches, a social entrepreneurial organization can get hundreds of people from across a country or from multiple countries to collaborate on joint online projects for a social cause. These websites help social entrepreneurs to disseminate their ideas to broader audience, help with the formation and maintenance of networks of like-minded people, and help to link up potential investors, donors, or volunteers with the organization for collaborating on solving social problems. Individuals' role in supporting social entrepreneurship. The most valuable step an individual can take to prepare him or her to participate in the field of social entrepreneurship is to deepen their self-knowledge. In order to be successful and make an impact, an individual must first understand what either he or she cares about and has always cared about, what his or her strengths and weaknesses are, and what his or her value set is, what environments he or she works best in, and what his or her motivations are. It is not necessary to study social entrepreneurship, but it is necessary to understand the workings of the system you want to change and the history of the problem with which you are concerned. This involves what may be a lengthy process of investigation and brainstorming. Most of all, you need to be prepared to listen to, face challenges, and spread your cause. Summarizing what we have discussed so far, social entrepreneurship at its essence is a process by which individuals build or transform institutions to advance solutions to social problems. Social entrepreneurship typically attempts to further broad social, cultural, and environmental goals often associated with the voluntary sector in areas such as poverty alleviation, healthcare, and community development. Social entrepreneurs are the idea champions, people who advance change, working within, between, and beyond established organizations. Towards attracting social entrepreneurs, many steps should be taken, like easing out the financing options, balancing out the financial and social objectives. Above all, it is the individual who should be prepared to listen to face challenges and spread his or her cause. Thank you.